Hello, trainers of all disciplines, drafters of all types. Welcome to the MagneZOne. As we hear clinking dishes in the background, we have with us today Sam
I gotta get my pizza, dude. It's dinner time.
and Adam.
That's completely fair. Give me your pizza.
Okay.
I
If you
mean,
can be here in the next 10 minutes, you can have it.
are we just like eating? Is this just an ASMR podcast? Like we're not gonna
Yep.
talk Pokemon
All right.
today. We're just gonna
Well,
eat and like drink
here's-
coffee.
Here's your ASMR. Are you gonna listen to the microwave closing? Here we go. And now here's the little beep. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, good. I'm glad we got
Eh,
that.
Now,
Yeah,
now that
the
you've had your
advantages
minute
to
of
a wireless
ASMR.
headset.
Oh yeah, dude, I can get up and eat all of my pizza.
I think maybe depending on what my next domicile looks like, I might do a similar setup. If
Your
not,
own private domicile.
well, it's more along the lines of because I don't know if like the wireless signal would punch through our drywall into the room because the coffee maker I'm using right now is in a different room. Anyway, we're talking about this is gonna be it's definitely gonna be shorter than our last couple podcasts. In particular, our streamed podcast, which I still need to get the VOD of that. I hope that's still up on Twitch. I'm actually gonna check that now while we're talking.
Oh yeah, it totally is. I watched it there.
Oh yeah, right. You posted that in a different group chat the other day.
Yeah, that was a nice long one.
Yeah, that was fun. I listened to the team review afterwards, and that was really, really good.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. That one ran long because we were talking about 16 teams, and we were going very in depth with every single team. So I feel no like regrets about it going that long. This one will not be that long. We're going over postseason for RDL season 2. Long overdue. I was gone for 2 weeks, and then we had the draft, which kind of threw a wrench in like any normal scheduling. So luckily we had some buffer time because week 1 has officially started yesterday, but it's started the week before. People got matches done because of time constraints, but we'll talk about that all next weekend. We're actually going to be posting this late. I mean, I guess, is it really late? Because I've been posting most of these on like Thursdays and Fridays anyway, because I keep forgetting to.
Nah, it's just a new time.
There we go. Yeah, new time is now Thursdays. No, I'm going to try and bring it back to Tuesdays. Not this week, but that's what I'm going to be shooting for now that my schedule is stabilized a little bit more. So we're actually recording this on a Tuesday, which is why it will not be posted today.
Fourth wall broken.
Well, I need to let the people at No Home at No Home, the people at home know the situation here, or in cars or wherever you people listen to this. People actually listen to this. Did you know that?
Yeah. I think Andrew secretly lives in a car.
And this is his sole form of entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to our
Or in a
biggest
boat.
fan that we always give Andrew a shout out. He's in the RDL as well. And I feel like he actually took some of our advice.
Occasionally.
It's weird. I don't know why anyone would take my advice, but enough on that. Let's actually get down to the nitty gritty here. Postseason, season 2 was the thing that happened.
Mm-hmm.
We'll also be talking about end of year awards. We'll do that after the postseason overview. We're not going to spend too much time on this because it's like everyone's kind of already seen everything, and we don't have. I don't have a lot of opinions on this as such. Find
because the semifinals matches were Santoro versus me, so New York Clinks versus Brooklyn Bulbasaurs, and then on the other side it was Rochester Roggenrollas versus Kansas City Kingdras, Clutch and Andrew on the other side.
And both were very fast matches.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Judging by the overviews that are helpfully posted on the season 2 sheet, Brooklyn, Necrozma and Mega Aerodactyl, or not Mega Tangrowth and Necrozma just did work.
Yeah,
really quick.
It was quick because I went in kind of preparing for some trades back and forth and to kind of try and grab the momentum and hold on to it as best I could. I think the mistake I made was that I went in with a game plan that was probably a little bit too close at the front end to what I did last time. And Santoro absolutely countered that 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I stayed ready to, like, I think I ran Focus Sash Heatran, which is kind of hilarious in retrospect. But like, yeah, he Z-moved on the first turn to bring my Heatran down to Focus Sash. It was a rough match for me, but it was really just, I mean, to be honest, Santoro learned from the last match where I managed to beat him. And...
Adam knows this very well because this is almost exactly what happened to Adam in season 1 with Santoro. Adam is actually the victim that caused the Flame Orb Facade meme. If that wasn't already.
How many times have we mentioned that?
We mention it every podcast. Just for you, Adam.
I'm so sorry, Adam.
Hashtag never forget.
Anymore. It's just funny.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think you've gotten past the grieving stage and are now into this is just, it's something we're laughing about now.
Soon enough, set up reunion will be laughable too.
Now, Kansas City versus Rochester, Terrakion. Just Terrakion.
It just claimed lives.
And it was all with close combat.
It was never a bad click.
No, it isn't. Especially on Terrakion. Yeah, it's a good...
Like, once Mantine was whittled and Mew was whittled, it just went in.
Yeah, and you can tell, like, okay, I'm going to level with you. The scores on this thing, on the sheet, make it look a lot closer than it actually felt watching it.
Well, it's a lot different. Like, when you see something like that in a match where every time Terrakion comes in, it gets a kill, and then there's something else in the back that, you know, Clutch can switch in, which he had. Yeah, those games will look closer than they actually were, but at a certain point, when you know that you can just bring this thing in every time you lose something, or every time there's an opening, and get a kill with it, the game's over.
Yeah, and it, you know, a part of it just boils down to, I mean, Clutch just knows. He knows when to. He's good at predicting. He's got good tech. He's got the switch-ins. Like, and that's what he basically was doing. Is he's using the rest of his team to wear Rochester down for Terrakion to just one-shot things on the switch. So,
yeah, and I think that's something that's worth noting. Is that's a really, really good way to prep your team. Is if you look across the way and see that they've only got one or two things that resist one of your better, faster wall breakers, slap a band or specs on that thing, and then build a team around getting rid of the things that keep it from just mowing down everything.
Yeah.
Because it's a really simple, you know, it's a simple plan to go in with. You know your win con, you can keep track of it. And yeah, I mean, the couple times that you see people build like that, those teams can perform pretty well.
Yeah,
because you know what you're targeting.
And and I will say this, with that sort of team, like with that sort of like plan in place, even if you lose, your differential is not going to take too bad of a hit, because you're going to get kills. Because remember, if you're going to lose, take as many of the enemy team down with you as possible, so that your differential is still intact, like relatively intact, so you're not super behind when the playoff race hits, depending on how your league is set up. So that I mean, these were both really quick, sort of one-sided feeling matches. So, like, not much to say about them.
That was not the finals, though.
No, those are the semifinals. The finals was Brooklyn versus Kansas City, and this one was a lot longer. It was a 43-turn match that went Kansas City's way. I think everyone who's going to be listening is probably already knows this, but that's why I didn't slow roll it as much. And I feel bad for Brooklyn because they've been championship runner-ups both seasons so far.
And probably will be season 3 with the team they have.
They'll probably be in the playoffs again. The question is whether or not they're going to get beat in the championships a third time in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Is that what this is?
Something like that.
Always the Brooklyn, but never the Bulbasaur.
Oh, jeez. Sometimes, I mean, you have to give Santoro credit because like he had that slide in the middle of the
right. He did manage to pull out of what was looking like a pretty bad tailspin.
Dude, he looked unbeatable in the first 2 rounds because I wouldn't feel so bad. I'd feel worse about having lost the way I did if it wasn't to Santoro. The dude tore through Ballistic. Like that first round, he made the team that was like he made the hottest team in the league, other than maybe Kansas City.
Yeah.
He just
look like a PU team that was made by a 5-year-old. Yeah, that's.
I wouldn't go that far.
I know.
I mean,
I was heavily exaggerating here, but he did rip through that team pretty solidly.
But that's what and that's no diss to Ballistic.
No, if anything, it's if anything, it's just more of a credit to Santoro's coaching skills. Santoro is a very good coach.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that's the thing is that Ballistic is good. He beat Santoro. Like,
I have to face Ballistic week 2, so.
A week before that.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. I mean, Brooklyn. It's one of those things where I think it's just it comes down to. I almost think it comes down to the people that Brooklyn ends up facing. I think it's just. I almost want to say it's style mismatch more than anything else. Oops.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason for that I say that is because like we talked about Santoro versus Clutch in terms of how they tech, where Santoro usually tends more towards the move and item sets, and Clutch tends more towards EV teching, and in particular speed teching. So it might just be a stylistic mismatch that happened here. And then when we were talking about Mike. Like, I mean, in season 1, you had Mike versus Santoro, and Santoro and Mike, their coaching styles, I think, are very at odds. Mike has almost a more relaxed battling style. I think. Now, that was season 1, and the teams are also a lot different then, because that was, only 8 teams in season 1. So, but like, from what I've seen with Mike battling, he's generally pretty relaxed about the whole deal. And I grant you, I'm not saying Santoro is tense per se, but Santoro is very much he's very much like threat and counter threat, and he's judging from what I've seen from his videos. I think the thing that throws Santoro the most is when someone either brings like a lesser threat that he wouldn't have considered them bringing. Like, basically, if he gets Santoro'd. If Santoro gets Santoro'd, he gets thrown.
Right.
And
I think that, just to interject real quick as well, like, playing Mike reminds me of playing someone on ladder who's really good.
Yeah.
And whereas, but Santoro gives me that flavor too. It's just that his team building is different. I mean, people make, like, for the most part, good plays are good plays, and people in this league make them. Generally. Yeah. With exceptions, but
cough, cough. Cough.
It's hard for me to put a finger on what Santoro does that's so different, because there's definitely something. And I'm not sure that it's always the tech either.
No, it's not like, always the tech. But I think it's it's not just the tech, it's how he uses the tech.
And I think that also, like, he doesn't always make the move you expect. Right. In the sense that, like, if you predicted him to do something, you may have even identified what would be conventionally the best move for him to make, the move that that very mechanically solid coaches would make.
And you know what? I think you put the finger on it. What I mean by stylistic differences between Michael and Santoro, which is that Michael is very conventional with his battling. He's a very conventional battle. He feels like you said, he feels like a ladder player, like a really good ladder player. Because really good ladder players, they do the conventional safe plays. Most of the time they're playing the odds. Rarely ever do they take gambles. Santoro, I'm not going to say he's as much a risk taker as much as he uses sets that would not work in ladder, but and I mean, not to say that Mike uses strictly ladder only sets, but what I'm saying is that Santoro is very good at picking the moment to strike with his tech sets. Usually.
Yeah, fair enough.
But sometimes those sets, if the person who's playing, like, he often, I think, relies on surprise factor with some of his sets. Like, I think the belly drum slurp puff thing that swept me, he was relying on that surprising me, and like me not thinking of belly drum slurp puff. Because if I had been thinking of belly drum slurp puff, I would have played completely differently and possibly shut it down.
To your in your defense, I would have been surprised by that too, but it's also it's also the first set on Slurpuff's smoke.
Oh, it is? Well, I'm just dumb then. Well, I mean, that's
like I said, it would have surprised me too, but
and you know what? It might not even. Maybe it's not so much he doesn't. I'm not saying he doesn't run Smogon sets either. What I'm saying is he doesn't run the sets that you would think would be good against the team that he's facing. Right? Like, he runs an unconventional set or a mon that you wouldn't expect him to run. Like, as much as please forgive me in advance, Adam, but Flame Orb Facade Salamence.
Yeah, that one worked. That just completely caught me.
But yeah, and really, and the thing is, though, you know, one ghost type would have caused that to grind to a halt. That whole sweep. But that's what he did.
It wasn't a sweep. I stopped.
Well, no, I know, but he did a lot of hole punching before that. I guess I wouldn't call it a sweep, but he definitely did a lot of damage before it went down.
And if I had teched my speed differently, I still could have bowled that back out.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, though. You didn't know to tech your speed for that. That's the trick.
For some reason, his Lopunny didn't outspeed a max speed Volcanion. Or not. It was something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, there was a lot of... It wasn't just the Salamence. The Salamence is just the flashiest part of it.
Well, it's even like... I think that the way that he techs occasionally, like, it wins him some and he loses him some, too. Like,
yeah.
Like, for instance, in the battle that I played him during the regular season... where I won, I think it was 2-0 or something. The only reason I won was because his +2 speed Necrozma didn't outspeed my Scarfed Haxorus.
Right.
Like, he didn't run quite enough speed on it to snag the KO there, and if he had, he would have trashed me.
Here's the other thing that, and this is a strength that Santoro has, but I think it's become a little diluted because the league is bigger now than when he started out. Santoro is very good at predicting what you'll bring. But sometimes if he doesn't get the prediction on what you'll bring correct, his tech doesn't work. Because obviously when you're teching based on something.
Yep.
And normally, and most of the time, he's very, very good at predicting exactly what you'll bring against him. Because I think my first time facing him in the RDL, he predicted basically the exact sets I brought for all 6 of my mons. Almost down to the EV point.
To some degree, the logic that you employ should be readable, right? Because like you can look at team comps and say like, oh, this thing is definitely coming,
right?
Or this thing definitely isn't. It has too poor a matchup and it doesn't do anything to my team,
right?
But like, I don't know. I think.
But even then, like, you also have to remember that the season 1 teams were a lot more high powered because there's a lot more power on the board when there's only 8 teams drafting.
Well, of course, yeah. But what I was gonna say is, like, I mean, I think that you can kind of play that to your advantage occasionally. My biggest regret in playing him in the playoffs this season was that I switched to last minute and kind of caved to something that I shouldn't have. I brought Tapu Bulu when I had kind of already built a team without it. And he was teched for that. And granted, you know, maybe I would have played into the exact same thing and lost Heatran early and had Necrozma like lay a bunch of hurt on. But he came prepped for that Bulu, and I think I could have had a better shot if I'd replaced that with something else that he maybe wasn't quite as prepared for. But anyways,
and we'll see how it goes. Like,
I play him twice, so we will.
Well, and it's important to note this season's going to be a lot different, I think, than the previous 2 seasons. Well, obviously, there's the fact that we've got a bunch of new coaches in here.
And non-stall Cossack.
Yeah. Well,
and non-stall Cossack.
Yeah. It's more balanced now. More bulky offense / balance.
I would classify your team as pretty hard balanced, to be honest.
Yeah. I was going for Bulkio initially, but now that I've got Entei and Pesimian, it's probably balance.
Yep.
As much as I'd love to run stall, I had, it was there. I wanted it. It's just that everyone took all of it. So
I would say I feel sorry for you.
But I know you don't.
I do a little bit, but like I'm definitely not going to feel sorry for you when I play you.
No.
Anyways.
Yeah, with that aside, let's move on to the end of year awards because why not? All right.
I suppose we should give Clutch some credit real quick too. Congratulations, Clutch.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah,
you rightfully won.
Congrats, Clutch. Yeah.
It was his first win over Santoro.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is pretty cool.
No, it was actually it was a really good battle. I mean, 43 turns. It was, there were
it was legitimately one of the best battles we had last season.
I think so. Yes. I think both teams fought well.
Both teams played well, my man. And 43 turns, not just a pushover for either team. And I got to see Clutch's build kind of progress, but I think it was really satisfying for him to go into the lab for a week and come out with something that really just it performed the way it had to.
And it showed the league has spoken. Coach of the season made the best plays. The co-winners, Neek and Clutch. I agree with those. And best team builder goes to Clutch, which makes sense because he was literally everyone's team builder. So he built probably about 80% of the teams in the league. So that's fair. Team of the season, best draft, building, and plays. Definitely Galesburg. I'll agree with that. At least during the regular season, definitely.
And that's what those awards are for.
Yep. And Neek definitely did have that. I mean, Neek had the best record going into playoffs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of the highest Pokemon on the
kill count board, yeah.
Actually, he had 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Neek definitely earned
you in Megaladios?
Yeah. Yes. Most disappointing Pokemon. So let's read the nominations.
Okay.
We have
Mega Era on there. That thing put in so much work for Santoro though.
Yeah, Mega. I think because they're only going by kill count by the looks of it. So,
but I mean, that's kind of fair for the rest of them.
For the rest of them, yeah. I don't know if Aerodactyl really should be on that board. I'll level with you. Mega Aerodactyl probably shouldn't be there, but I will agree with Megalatias, Lando T, Zapdos, and Mew.
Again, Mew was kind of more supportive role this season.
That's true, because Mew was on Mike's team, and Mike was running Mew mostly as support.
Wait,
that's
Mike.
Or no, Andrew. Sorry, Andrew's team. My brain isn't working. Because Mike had it on season 1, didn't he? Or maybe I'm just hallucinating.
Maybe? I don't remember.
I don't even think he did then. I'm just dumb and forget what's on what people's teams. No, he mentioned he wanted it, I think. I don't know. My brain is fried. Anyway.
Anywho.
Yeah, Andrew had it. I think we talked about it early in the season. Honestly, in one of our first podcasts ever, we brought up Mew as
Mon of the Week. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Clutch talking about it and saying hey, I think that Mew has kind of had an underwhelming season so far.
Right.
Although I do have to say I have respect for the way that Andrew played with it in the second half of the season for sure. It was a big mind game thing for me. I think if I recall correctly, he bluffed Scarf with it. My game
Yeah.
He used it well. I
Yeah.
definitely don't think it.
I don't think it deserves
it was
to
the
be on the
winner.
list for most. Well, it wasn't. The winner is Megalatias.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying though, is that
Yeah.
it certainly didn't deserve to win, and thank
Yeah.
goodness it did.
Yeah, and Megalatias is pretty fair.
Hmm.
Although Megalatias did get me pretty good last season.
I mean,
that was just because.
But a Megalatias being -5.
Yeah, that's also true.
That's disappointing for a Mon that is absolutely busted.
Yeah, that's true.
Lando could get away with having like a slightly negative or a like neutral.
Well, because you can run like defog sets, stealth rock sets.
Yeah,
exactly. You can
That's
run defensive sets with Lando T. Because as we all know, Lando T is the all singing, all dancing Mon of Tier 1.
Yeah.
I still want to see Dual Dance Mew sometime this season.
That'd be pretty awesome to witness, as long as it's not my team that's on the receiving end.
Who has Mew again this season?
That's a good question.
Who knows?
No one. It's undrafted.
Oh. Well, if I didn't already have a Tier 1 and all my points spoken for, then...
Yeah, and if I didn't already have a Psychic type in Megalatias...
If I didn't already have Jirachi...
Busted Mon.
If I didn't already have a Mon with Iron Head, and Serene Grace, that's base 100.
That's not going to be fun to play.
Anyway,
It's not.
Moving on, we'll save MVP, although I think... that'll be oh, that's right. MVP is different, right? For a second, I thought I was reading the wrong bar. Anyway, we'll move to best offensive Pokemon, which is pretty easy to say here. But I'll read off the nominees here. Tornadus T. Notably, only 2 Tier 1s, one Tier 1 Mega and a Tier 1 Mon in the best offensive Mons. 2 of them are Tier 3. One of them is Kyurem. #Kyurem got snubbed. And the other one is Crocodile. And then we had one Tier 2, which is Mimikyu. Now, we all know who won Best Offensive Mon. It was Marv the Crocodile. Of course Marv won it. Like, naturally. Marv was a force to be reckoned with.
Mm-hmm. More so in the first half than the second.
More so in the first half. But I think it's because in the second half, everyone kind of got adjusted to how Omega was using it. And everyone was watching for it. Because... in the first half, no one expected a Tier 3 to just come out and dominate the kill boards.
Yeah.
And when that kind of thing happens, that tends to paint a target on Amon's back.
Yeah, people just don't want to get swept by it. They prep for it a little bit more.
Yeah, it puts it further into the front of people's minds when they're planning for your team.
Mm-hmm.
Still put up an excellent performance overall, though.
Oh, yeah. And in the second half of the season, it wasn't bad. I think it regressed more to the kind of stuff that you expect it to do.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Now, best defensive Mon. For all my vaunted bulk and stall playing ability, none of my Mons made it onto this list. But we have Rhyperior, Ferrothorn, Melodic, Porygon 2, and Alolan Ninetales. Now, Ferrothorn is a really good defensive Mon. And that's a 2-season in a row nomination. I think Ferrothorn's been on that list both seasons in a row. I'd have to confirm that. It would not surprise me. No, it was on my team season 1. I think it was one of the only Mons I had that was up for an award. Because Jolteon doesn't count because I didn't do most of the stuff that happened with Jolteon.
Hey, that was me.
Yeah, that was you. Thanks for that Jolteon though, by the way.
Yeah, no problem.
It didn't do me any good, but I got it too little, too late. But yeah.
And then you made
Ferrothorn was actually Alolan Ninetales is also on that list 2 seasons in a row.
But it should be with Aurora Veil support.
Yeah.
You bring Light Clay Aurora Veil every week and it's good.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Those are the only 2 returning nominations. Neither of them won this season. Alolan Ninetales was co-winner with Celesteela last season.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Or season 1, that is. This season was Melodic.
Yep.
Naturally. Santoro did an excellent job utilizing Melodic's bulk.
Yeah.
As a connoisseur of bulk Mons, I was very impressed.
I think that Porygon 2 probably deserved votes as well.
Oh, yeah, Porygon 2 deserves to be on the list of nominees at least, for sure.
I think Porygon 2 came in second.
Probably.
Sure
yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I voted for Porygon 2 over Melodic.
I voted for Melodic.
Because that thing walled me twice.
Yeah, it walled me also, so...
I think I maybe have a little bit of bias because I would think I was the one of 2 games it didn't come to. I was the first game in Santoro's line that it didn't show up for.
Yeah. So the best 6th Mon used in 6 or less games. I was desperately trying to get this to happen for Quagsire.
Nope.
Didn't happen. Dragonite, which was picked up late in the season.
But so is Quagsire.
Yeah, so is Quagsire. But like Dragonite Tier 1 picked late in the season. Oh, and it was there. Kecleon. I think Kecleon is the real deserver of this award. It didn't win, but I think
Tier 5 that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, Keck really came out of the depths and just stole wins. 2 of them.
And our hearts.
Keck forever.
Ambipom, Tyrantrum, and Slurpuff. Slurpuff and Ambipom both on this list with only 2 games played.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, very impressive.
Ambipom was also another late pickup by Whitehawk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I get the Dragonite win. I think that
Dragonite won, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Dragonite won it.
Yeah.
But I get that. It's it had 11 kills in 6 games. That's pretty good.
It's a Tier 1, so yeah.
Mm-hmm. But also, like, I don't think that I think that people underestimate Dragonite.
Oh, some people do. I don't, but
yeah. But anyways, the thing is,
I'm not gonna say it's a bad pick. It's a good pick for best 6 Mon because it fits all the requirements and it did really well in the 6 games it came in.
I think if it would have made the All-Star list if it had been
in the season earlier. Yes, I agree.
Yeah. So and also it just made me super happy when Whitehawk ran Band Night.
Oh yeah.
Like, throw a choice band on Dragonite. You've got excellent priority. You've got this like stab outrages. You have multi-scale, so if you can keep rocks off the field, it's not gonna die. It's basically just this like back pocket nuke and revenge killer. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and just sweeper at the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude.
Bandit E-speed.
There is
like base 130 attack, I think.
Yeah,
it's 134, I think, or something like that.
It's pretty nutter butters. I'll look it up while you guys continue gushing
134.
Oh,
yep.
There we go.
I remember it because one of the hilarious things about Dragonite, of course, is that before multi-scale, it was just considered inferior to Salamence, and everyone just kind of laughed at the fact that Salamence had 1 more base attack than it did. It was just like, it was the biggest like slap in the face for the thing.
And then multi-scale came along and changed all that.
Multi-scale made Dragonite viable again. It made it different from Salamence.
Multi-scale makes Dragonite take an Ice Shard from an Adamant Life for Mamoswine.
That's right.
That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I ran Dragonite in Gen 5 because of that. Because it's just the multi-scale gives it this kind of like different usability. It can keep rocks off the field, it comes in and it can't die. Like you cannot get that thing to die.
Anytime you have a Mon that you can put in that tanks a hit that it's by all accounts not supposed to take, that is very good. It's very usable because when you can that puts your opponent off the rhythm, because the moment something like that happens, like a lot of trainers, a lot of coaches, a lot of battlers are gonna like that throws them off mentally because they're like, wait, holy shit, why didn't that kill it? What the hell?
They have to adjust their game plan when it comes in and stays at full health, or worse yet, when it roosts to full health.
Yeah,
you need like excellent removal.
Yeah. You do. I did a team back in 5th Gen that was Dragonite, Volcarona, and then everything to keep rocks off the field.
So our Mon of the Week this week, Dragonite, apparently.
It has 100 base special attack. Give this thing a Mega.
Dude, yeah, no, Mega Dragonite. One of them, Mixed Knight was fun too. Extreme speed, couple coverage moves, give it like Earthquake, give it Superpower, and then throw Draco Meteor on there so it can just click this nuke button and then stay in and keep bashing things. So much fun. Anyways, do we want to move on?
Yeah, let's move on to Rookie Coach of the Year.
The nominees were all of the rookies.
Yeah, the nominees being all of the rookies, including Sam, Omega, from our podcast. Sam, I'm sad to see that you didn't get the win, but Omega did. So there we go. Magnus and Neek. Yeah, I was gonna mention Neek too. Don't get me wrong. You're talking to the guy who's been trying to like get everyone to be like, no, please don't sleep on Neek. Neek is like,
oh god, no.
Neek is a stealth killer.
The Gliss score week 1.
Yeah, he's
that's a topic for another time though.
He's a stealth killer. Neek is. So, anyways, Neek and Omega taken Rookie Coach of the Year. And I agree with those choices. They both came out swinging. Omega was kind of the new Flash, considering he was in the same division as Santoro, and the battles in that division were fierce.
Wait, what? No, it wasn't.
It wasn't?
No, Santoro was with me.
Oh right, God, my brain is not working today. If you couldn't tell.
Which is why you're hosting a podcast. Sorry.
Which is why. Well, I'm hosting it. You guys are here to keep me in line.
Fair enough.
There's a reason I wanted co-hosts on this.
No, he was with Clutch.
Welcome to Cossack Says Blatantly False Information.
Oh, that's my favorite show.
And gets corrected by his co-hosts.
Oh, that's my favorite thing to do.
To be fair, it happens at least once every single podcast where I'll say something that blatantly is not true or not the case. Like I'll say Amon has a certain move it does not have, or has an ability that it does not have. Mm-hmm. Or I'll say like use substitute with Assault Vest. That does not work. And I do this every single episode. And every time when I'm listening back to these, I just put my face in my hands and my head on the table and just cry a little.
I'm so happy you can do that. It's healthy emotionally.
I just die a little inside every time that happens, but it's I think because I have a shit memory.
Fair enough. I think that to be honest, we just had a good crop of rookies last year.
We really did.
Whitehawk is good. I think he's like we're lucky that we got a really solid replacement halfway through when Genki decided to leave. Ballistic, of course, is a great coach. Excessive was of course really, really good as well. Put together one of the scarier teams. Meta brings, Meta brought a crazy offensive team to the table and really
actually
finished above 500. Just didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, just shy.
And of course, there's Andrew. Emerson. It's just a good crop of new
very
people.
Good crop of rookies, most of which were returning. I don't think anyone on that current crop of rookies.
Excessive is out.
Yeah, Excessive is out. But other than that, everyone else stayed.
Yep.
Which I'm really glad for. Everyone who came in on season 2 added a lot to the league. Brought a lot of different things to the table, and it's always good to have. I like having challenging coaches to face. Mm-hmm. As someone who's not that challenging of a coach to face right now, like having better coaches, because this is when I played sports in high school. I ran track. Track is very much an individual sport, and when I was a sprinter, and a lot of the people who are sprinters didn't want to run against the fastest guys in the fastest heat. But you run your fastest when you're running against the fastest people. You do your best when you're facing someone who's as good as you are or better.
So long as you keep your spirits up about it.
Right. Well, and that's how I view it. Now, not everyone views it that way, and everyone's got different, psychology with, competition. And I don't think there is really one right mindset. There's so many different good competitive mindsets. They're as different as people are, right? And but I do think that it's important to the trick about facing people who are better battlers than you or better than you are at something is if you're getting beat by them, don't just like mentally throw in the towel. Fight as hard as you can because you'll learn something from it. And then go back and look at it. Like you gotta watch your game footage because it's gonna help you figure out like the common mistakes that you always make. Because I noticed a few when I was going back over my season 2 recordings. And it's just an important thing. So and that's why I like this league. This league is also it also helps that no one's an asshole. Really.
I mean,
actually, it's kind of surprising. We got 16 people together and no one's a jerk.
I mean, we have
except for me though.
Oh well, I mean, I'm only a jerk when I'm playing stall.
Yeah, dude. No, I mean, you have to understand that what I really wanted to say when you were like, I was watching last season's footage and I noticed some mistakes I made. What I wanted to say was, oh, so you watched the draft again.
Oh, you're not wrong though, but it looked good at the time.
Yeah, same. And then I threw mine out the window.
Yeah.
We have to roast each other a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's what keeps us honest here.
I expect to have Necrozma brought up every so often. So.
Yeah. And Facade, Flame Orb, Salamence will never go away.
Well, Flame Orb Facade will never go away. That's too funny.
I started bringing it with Conkeldurr last season.
Oh yeah, Conkeldurr with. That's actually what. I was gonna draft Conkeldurr as like my my round 1 pick. I actually had a whole team built around Conkeldurr.
Dude, next season, go deeper. Create a whole team that's capable of running Flame Orb Facade.
Oh my god.
Nothing but Gutsmons and normal types.
Are there 11 Gutsmons?
Huh?
I don't think there's all 11 Gutsmons. That's why you said just Gutsmons and
I mean, the closest thing you get is like Zangoose, right?
Like you could run I think for that team I would run Diggersby, Zangoose.
Oh no, there are plenty.
Yeah.
You run Raticate, Machamp, Heracross, Ursaring, Swellow.
Oh, Heracross. Well, you know what? Santoro did run Flame Orb Facade Heracross.
Andrew, it's a good
Andrew, you're listening. Flame Orb Facade on Ursaring.
He did. He brought that week 1. It just got bodied before it could set it up.
Oh. I love how Sam and I are just like, oh.
Yeah.
That makes me sad.
That thing really does get obliterated by Primarina.
Yeah. Let me go see if I can find the set, because I know I have it.
I mean, I'm not going to unveil the set yet, but Sam put together a really nasty Diggersby Flame Orb Facade set.
Oh, no, I'm not revealing all of them, but he had Guts Facade.
Yeah.
He had Guts Flame Orb Facade, and I'm just like, oh, God, here we go again.
I mean, Diggersby gets a stab facade boosted by huge power.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Oh, that's one more thing to prep for week 7.
Oh my god, I just need to bring it against you. Even if you're seeing even if you see it coming, just bring it against you.
It looks like Breloom's coming week 7.
Yeah, Breloom. Mamoswine. I'll point out that Mamoswine outspeeds.
Yeah, but he can quick attack me.
Yeah.
And Ice Shard isn't going to OHKO.
I mean, I bet you can take a quick attack from a burned Diggersby.
Yeah.
Anyways,
anyway,
do we want to talk MVP?
Yeah, we'll finally talk about MVP. I'm trying to pad time here a little bit because we're actually burning through this even quicker than I anticipated. We're only about 40 minutes in here. But
that's not too bad.
But we'll talk about MVP because I'm looking at season 1 because I was looking back to see best defensive mon, but anyway, season 2. So I'm just going to quickly rattle off the list here. Zygarde 50%, Zygarde 10%, Alolan Ninetales, Mega Pinsir, Latios, Krookodile, Mimikyu, Weavile, Kyurem, Mega Gardevoir, Kyurem Black, Tapu Bulu, Rhyperior, Tornadus T, Dragonite, and Kecleon. So
there were some wild kill totals.
Yeah, there is a lot of returning mons to this list.
Megalatios.
Megalatios being the big one. Kyurem Black, I think, was on this list last season or season
Yeah,
one.
Pac was a nightmare with that thing.
Wait, is that Latios or Mega Latios?
Mega Latios.
Okay, he needs to put the M there because I had Latios. I can tell you I didn't get that many.
No, your Latios is on the MVP thing.
Oh, it is. I do have something on the list. Wow.
Wait, why is Latios there and Mega Latios not?
Yeah, that's the question I'm asking here because Mega Latios
Latios had 15 kills and 4 deaths.
Yeah.
I feel like that should be there.
I think maybe flip those around or just not have Latios on here.
I mean, Latios was the MVP of your team.
Oh no, it was the most valuable to their team. That's why. It was one per team.
Okay. So we voted Mimikyu over Mega Latios for Neek.
That makes sense a little bit.
Even though I kind of disagree, I think Mega Latios.
I think Mega Latios did more for the team than Mimikyu did. Mimikyu just got more kills because he used like Mega Latios and other mons on his team to break the things that were going to stop Mimikyu from sweeping and then swept with Mimikyu.
I feel like we just voted on kill totals, to be honest.
That's probably true. Well, we don't need to justify it too much more.
No, that's basically exactly what happened because all these are I think these are all the highest kill total mons per their team.
To be fair, though, mine was the MVP because Zygarde 50 was like, I leaned on that thing so heavily.
I mean, Latios was my MVP because it's the only one that got a positive kill total on my team. I'm pretty sure.
Wait, really?
By +1.
Yeah, by +1. I had a very bad season, Sam. In case you didn't notice.
That wasn't Sam. That was me.
All right. Well, anyway.
I mean,
I had a very bad season.
I'm responsible for -9 of your differential.
So yeah.
Yikes.
Thanks for that.
Almost -12.
I'll get my revenge.
Oh, I'm scared to face you this season.
Yeah. Anyway, so the winner was Mega Pinsir, which is fair because Mega Pinsir was pretty brutal.
Yeah, I would say, do you guys agree?
Yeah, I could see it being either like Mega Pinsir, maybe Marv, because that just gave Emerson so many wins.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it depends on how you're deciding like the most valuable mon. Honestly, I think going by games won is probably the like I think it's a combination of like games won to like brings like there. Mm-hmm. I think we do need to refine the actual process for MVP because really MVP right now just kind of looks like best offensive mon slightly refined.
But like, and then if you look at it, like Kyurem for clutch, he only brought it 8 times, but it got 14 kills.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like that's almost 2 per bring. That's
ridiculous. Like Kecleon almost got 2 per bring as well, and so did Dragonite. Dragonite went 11-4 on 6 games.
Yeah, actually, Dragonite's closer to 2 per game than Kyurem is.
Like I think I might talk with Mike about some like getting some metrics just for MVP. I think the rest of this is fine, but I think MVP might need to be altered slightly. And maybe I'll put together a weird overly complex and arbitrary point system
that win shares per game.
Like win shares per game, KDR, like each of these things adds points to the point total.
I mean, it would be interesting to see like statistically what mon is best per team.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, some of these are fairly accurate. A lot of times your best killer is going to be on one of your best winners as well. Because
I mean, Torrent, actually we didn't talk about it, but Torrent T for Oregon, 13 kills, 2 deaths.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could.
And oh my god,
in 8 games. Yeah.
If Ballistic had performed the way he did all season, or the way he did for the last weeks, all season, then Torrent T is the MVP. And also, I think, to be honest, if I had to pick an MVP, I don't think I go with Mega Pinsir, even though it is I'd say it's 3rd or 4th. Mm-hmm. But I do think it's either Mimikyu or Mega Latios, one of those two.
Both being Neek.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that can push it even more.
Exactly. I mean, but the way that he used them was actually quite good. Because the thing that I should, absolutely.
I'm your biggest fan.
The thing I give him credit for that's like he does really well is, first off, he makes great use of his bulk mons to just like wall the ever-loving GBs out of the opponents. Like,
yes, I know. As a wall player, I appreciate this.
Eviolite Magmar.
Eviolite Magmar. And he has those things again. Well, he has Magmar again. Piloswine went to Santoro.
Yeah, as we discussed, Santoro got most of Neek's old team.
Okay, well, like 38% of it.
But then got some of his own disgusting flavor to throw.
Oh, naturally. Well, I feel like it's a situation where I don't think this is probably what happened. I think it's more Santoro was just looking like, what do I want this season, and just happened to like probably had a few of those things brought to the front of his mind.
He just took like every team's like MVP, Dragonite, Xurkitree, Runiculus.
That's what he did. He just looked at the MVP thing and was like, yeah, I could build a team out of this.
If they're not the MVP, they're like number 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Mega V's are probably number 2.
I mean, that's not a bad way to formulate a draft list if you're not doing franchise picks.
Yeah. Not at all. Yeah.
Like, we joke about that, but that's actually a pretty good way to formulate a decent draft list. You have to be careful, mind you, because like you have to be sort of careful if you're formulating a draft list based on like what did the best last season, though, because everyone's gonna remember what did the best last season.
There is a recency bias to it.
Yeah, although there are certain mons that are just gonna go early every time. Lando T is an excellent example. It goes early every draft because it's the all singing, all dancing.
Yep.
I mean, I know I personally took mons that I know gave me problems last year.
I mean,
Mamo, Nihilego.
I did too. I took mons that either gave me problems or I thought or I wished I had. Like I took Rotom Wash because that did legitimately give me no end of trouble last season.
Playing with Rotoms are fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Pain split up those walls. Ooh, yum.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that I may have run Pain Split like once or twice last season, but I didn't run it as much because a lot of the teams were less wall focused, and some of the ones that were more so, I didn't play.
Oh, when I ladder in RU, I run Pain Split beat so much.
Well,
I believe that.
I'll tell you why you didn't run into so many wall focused teams. It's because I had most of the walls.
Yeah, and I played you a bit differently.
No, yeah, you did. You 6-0'd me. That was
beautiful. That was a beautiful Haxor set.
Oh, I'm still so sad that I didn't just click taunt instead of substitute.
Mono Dragon Stab.
Yeah, mono outrage.
Ugh.
Oh well.
Ugh.
Anyways.
Ugh. Anyhow, so what? Since we've got a little bit of time, we'll just do a quick week 1 preview. Because we're only at 53 minutes here. So we'll do a quick...
We do have some matches done. Actually, we have a lot done.
Yeah, well, but we're not going to go over... We'll wait till next week to go over all the matches at once, hopefully.
Yeah.
As many as possible, anyway. And so we will go over the matchups at least, though. I think we did for the draft list as well, but we were kind of rushing through it because we were running into like 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So... let's go to the schedule. And okay. And also, this isn't showing up visually on the podcast. I just have to look at it for reference because I apparently have the memory of a goldfish when it comes to this league. So, LA versus Oregon. I will say that already happened, but I won't say who won or lost yet. Los Angeles Chargebugs versus Liverpool BC. That's happening Saturday. That Liverpool is my team. Because I didn't know Excessive was going to leave. And so when he won the Battle of Detroit, I was going to just like make a big deal out of how I seeded, like, you know, like how I just like, I'm like, you are now the Detroit team for you have defeated me in honorable combat. And then he goes and leaves. And I'm like, well, shit.
Now you're Liverpool anyways.
Well, but we can have the battle for LA. They're in the same division.
Oh, true. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So this is going to be the real. This is so much storytelling potential here. Anyway.
Wait, do we have round 3 for Battle Ohio? Me and Mike.
I think. I don't know. I'm not going to go through the whole schedule, but
yeah, whatever the case.
Anyway, so we go down into the next division, which is San Antonio versus EC. That hasn't happened yet. I don't know when that's going to happen. Ohio versus Chicago. That happened last week. And we'll talk about that like next week. And as I said, Pittsburgh versus Brooklyn. Now, also for this division, this is the Hoenn division, correct? Hoenn is blue.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. I'm wondering if, because we're using we have the spacer bars in between these. I'm wondering if Mike could possibly format this so that the actual division name is above the top team, but that's up to Michael, and I'm not going to give Michael a bunch of shit because the spreadsheet is fucking amazing.
These spreadsheets are great.
This is like I said, this is probably the best. This is definitely the best organized league I've ever been a part of. It's so well run. So kudos to Mike and Pack and everyone else who's been involved with both the formatting of the sheet, and because I know there's a few others involved. But anyway, going back to Hoenn, none of those matches have been played yet. It's Pittsburgh versus Brooklyn, Seattle Supersonics versus the Philadelphia Braviaries.
That one has happened, though.
Oh, it has happened?
It's not on the spreadsheet.
Okay.
Yeah,
you watched that battle.
Oh, you're right. I did. I thought... Are you sure? I thought that was the Alolan International battle I watched.
No. You probably watched both, to be honest.
I did watch both, I think. So
if you didn't watch me get robbed of victory by a mammoth swine, then you didn't watch the Alolan International
3
battle.
HP or 4?
I don't remember. It gets less every time I recount the story.
Yeah.
It's gonna be 1.
Well,
soon.
Ask Nadia.
A fraction of 1.
Ask Nadia about losing to due to low HP turnarounds. 3 HP on that Gliscor.
Anyways,
just critting Toxic Croaks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah. So on the flip side of that, all of the battles for Alolan division have been completed. Galesburg versus Akron No. God damn it, Mike. Why did you change it only for Alola? I made this mistake last time. Or I know it was randomized. I'm pretty sure it was randomized in a way. I think he put all the teams that all the potential teams in a hat and kind of
He just did it to mess with you.
Probably.
And it worked.
It's Mike, so that's actually a distinct possibility. Still thinking about that Ferrothorn Soul Reed, but and how weirdly coincidental that was. He was waiting for me to say that word. But yeah, so it was Galesburg versus San Jose and Akron versus Rochester. There, I got it right this time.
Indeed.
Yay. Those all happened. So we will see how that goes. Or, well, we've already seen how it goes. You'll see how that goes next week. Or we'll talk about it at least. You won't see anything because, well, you'll see our splash screen. I'm working on potentially getting this up on iTunes and on SoundCloud. I have to figure out some formatting issues, though. And then I have to figure out how to set up an RSS feed for the podcast. But and so that might not happen for a while yet. But once it happens, if it happens, I'll let you all know. I would really like to get this up on iTunes because then people can it'll be easier for others. And if I get it up on SoundCloud, same thing. It's just that iTunes doesn't have as store, as far as I know, doesn't have as limit to how many podcasts you can store on there, where SoundCloud does. Unless you have a premium membership, which I'm not paying for. I don't have the money to pay for that right now. Anyway, that's a just different discussion for not on the podcast. Anyhow, hope you all find victory in your next battles. If you're not in a draft league and you want to find one, good luck finding one. No sarcasm there. This is really fun, and it's a good experience if you're willing to put a little bit of time in. So, with that said, peace out. We'll see you next time. I would say next week, but it's going to be this week technically anyway, later this week due to the late date of the recording. Yep. And this is where I'm gonna like look at the OBS screen and find out we weren't recording. But no, we are recording, so we're good. And exactly an hour, so have fun, everyone. Peace.